Hi from Hong Kong, folks. I'm just back from 5 weeks in Santa Monica. I was there shooting all kinds of great stuff. I had Steph in for a week. She flew in for Philly and we were shooting all day, every day in such a crazy variety of different scenarios, on location, in studio, outdoors, in the desert. It was maybe the most productive and most fun week that we've ever spent shooting together. It just went so smoothly and we got so much done. Testament to that, I'm currently backing up 18 terabytes of data that I created over that month. Now, we were shooting for some long-term projects like courses that I'm making and books and stuff, as well as more quick turnaround stuff like YouTube videos, stuff to support the charity fundraiser that we were just involved in, as well as some client work that needed a fast turnaround. So basically every day we were planning out that day, thinking about the next day, doing the shoot, doing the backup, and in some cases doing rush edits on the day as well. Now, throughout the week, we shot in some really cool locations and some different themes than we've ever shot before. Because we were filming the entire week, I thought let's compress the entire 7 days worth of shooting down into 10 or 15 minutes and bring you along for the ride. So let's go. Throughout my time in Santa Monica, I rented an Airbnb that I was doing a whole bunch of shooting with all different models there. Steph and I started out shooting a tutorial about restricting light using gobos and cookies and kind of an optical spot type effect. Now, apologies, a lot of these shots are not going to be YouTube friendly, so I'll carefully select out snippets to share with you. But just note, we've got a bunch of different courses and content coming out over, well, basically the rest of this year. Now, on this trip, I was using the espresso 17-inch Pro display. You can see it's got a magnetic stand, so I took this around everywhere. I first heard about them when I was last back in Sydney visiting my family. They're actually an Australian company, which is kind of gives me some pride. And the word pro, to be honest, in consumer electronics has been so overused, but in this case, I think it's really warranted. It's relatively tiny, but it's full 4K. It has nice small bezels. It's touchscreen and it has a stylus. It's 450 nit at peak brightness. You see it's got dual USB-C there, so it's got pass-through power. It's also got built-in speakers. And for me, one of the most important things, having that big color gamut, is that it's also calibratable. So I'm able to get a SpyderPro and then have it match all the different displays that I'm working with, no matter the location I'm shooting in. Now, I've been using Datacolor calibration for over a decade now. I think since before I started the YouTube channel, one of my first videos was actually about these, and it's kind of depressing to see how much I've aged over the past 12 years. But I always use calibrated displays for my editing work. There's no point creating all of this data and then not actually seeing what's in your files. No matter what laptop or desktop you're using, if you don't calibrate the screen, you're not seeing the actual colors and tonal range of the file on screen. So I will always calibrate, whether I'm in studio, I do it maybe like once a week, or when I'm on location, or if I change lighting setups, it only takes a few seconds, but then at least you know you're really seeing what's in your files. Thanks to Datacolor, they sent me out their new SpyderPro a couple of days before it was actually launched. Now, this replaces the X2 Ultra, and it's got some important improvements. I like that it's got a little built-in cap, so you can kind of, that holds it on the back of the display, but also protects the colorimeter there. This new Pro model adds support for OLED and mini LED displays. It's got unlimited gamma, curve, and white point settings, unlimited display calibrations, and of course it measures the room's ambient light and adjusts your display to the room conditions. And surprisingly for this day and age, it's actually 10% cheaper than its predecessor was. So I was using this and the espresso display throughout the entire trip. Now, I just wanted to take you through a couple of the different shoots that we did on this trip, culminating in the big road trip that was so much fun and so intense. I think we created like 3 terabytes of data in that 24 hours. One of our first location shoots was in a studio downtown in such a sketchy part of town, but this was just about the easiest environment for editing. White walls and fairly neutral light. When you're calibrating, you do need to take into account the room ambient light, as what's reflecting off your screen is going to impact how you see what's in your files. This was my basic workflow on all these shoots. I'd set up the little mobile editing station with my laptop, the espresso display and its magnetic stand, grab the SpyderPro, run calibration on both screens as I continued to set up light stands and everything. And by the time we started shooting, everything was calibrated and ready to go. Then I can check the shots and files as we're shooting. On this particular day, we were shooting 2 5-hour studio sessions back to back for an upcoming Naughty and Nice theme course. So we had a big variety in the themes. The Naughty shots were more low-key and really contrasty light, and then the Nice was more high-key and big, nice, soft light source looks. So reviewing the images as we went to make sure that I was getting the kind of looks that I wanted was really important. We spent a whole day out in parks and on the beach shooting for a bunch of different YouTube content, some of which you've probably already seen go live. And that was really straightforward. We were using a bunch of different brands of camera equipment, so the looks that you're getting from each one really does vary. Here I often use the Spyder Checkr photo to grab a test shot. It basically lets you set your white point, but then really customize the colors to represent the light that you were shooting in. It's basically a one-click process in your editing workflow, but it can really save you time and make sure that all of the colors in your file look just right. A little later, Steph and I went to do a kind of shoot that we've never done before, which was an underwater themed studio shoot. Now here I was regularly checking the images that we were getting because essentially you're shooting into a big fishbowl. So it's really easy as you're shooting, I found, to overlook the reflections and exposure issues you might have through the rippling water. Also, I was filming with 5 or 6 different video camera angles, some of them underwater in the tank with her. So I needed to regularly check to make sure that the images and videos we were getting were correct so that it'll all come together for the course and not have any technical problems.
Hi guys. Woo.
That afternoon we jumped in the rental car and headed out to an abandoned water park. It was a solid 4 or 5 hour drive out into the desert to get to that place, and we made it just in time for sunset. Woo! We just got here in time for sunset to the water park. This whole month is basically about creativity, being out, being creative. I'm loving being out of the office, but we literally have like 10 minutes before the sun is gone, maybe less because there's mountains there. So I'll fill you in once we're done. So yes, I'll just get a shot for the white balance, then I'll get you to hide up behind yourself. Great, just pop it down with your shoes. Let's pop the mask on. Great, let's do like big knee up poses. Yeah. Let me grab a quick color check here. That's cool, okay. even for us, that's got to be record speed. 3 looks, 3 locations, a couple of people wandering around. The sun has set, we've repacked, Steph has changed like a magician, and today just keeps getting better. We already had like a 5-hour shoot in downtown LA this morning. I was going to do a bit of editing here, but we ran out of time, so let's head back to our hotel. I'll pick up the story there and give you a bit more of the backstory, and we'll be back here in the morning. Motel 6, Motel 8, something like that, Super 8 maybe, in Barstow. We had an amazing day. We spent the day shooting in an underwater setup for a course, then got on the highway, came out here to shoot at the Waterpark, going back there again tomorrow. You can probably tell that I brought everything in. This is a bit of a sketchy area, so better here than in the car. I'm just going through the images from today, and as you probably saw, as I was setting up, I quickly calibrated both of my monitors. I'm going to get into it a little bit more, but basically I've been using this espresso 17-inch display, kind of cool, they're an Australian company, that packs down really light. It's got a stylus that you can write on, you can use it as a tablet, you can use it as a second screen. It's got all this really smart software in it. It's got this giant battery that I can actually run the laptop and the screen off, when I'm out in the field, and it's really color accurate. This guy is compatible with the Datacolor SpyderPro, so as well as using the little Spyder Checkr photo when we're shooting, I'm able to, as I was just unpacking, had the SpyderPro calibrate both of my screens, because I'm in a room that has 2 or 3 different colors of light and green walls and beige walls, so a completely different atmosphere than where I was editing this afternoon or where I'm staying currently in Santa Monica. So I can know that I'm seeing what's actually inside my files. It's really important for me. I was shooting today on Nikon, Canon, and Hasselblad cameras. Great to be able to just run through and check that I have everything that I wanted, and then kind of plan out what I want to do tomorrow to make sure that it is all complementary. Now, what is it? It's just past 10 p.m. I'm pretty exhausted. I need to finish all of my packing, do the rest of the backing up, plan out tomorrow, let Steph know the meeting time, and then hopefully get in a decent night's sleep. So anyway, great to be out, being creative, being on the road, being out of the office, and still being able to have a fully color managed workflow. Great. I will finish this and I'll pick up with you in the morning when I'm on my way back to the water park. Day 2 in the desert, and we got a nice early start. We were only staying about half an hour from the water park, so we headed straight back out there and spent probably 9 a.m. through till 2 p.m. shooting on location. We were shooting for a bunch of different content, some for courses, mostly for YouTube, and also some for testing out new equipment for some manufacturer partners of mine who wanted feedback on upcoming products. Man, when everything comes together like this, it's just such a rewarding process. Steph is always on point. For once, I was really organized and, we were really focused on what we were shooting through each thing. We knocked out content, piece after piece after piece, different outfits, different locations. And going through the files now in Edit, I don't think we missed anything. It's so rarely the case when I don't have a videographer and we're using, say, a 4 video camera setup, and then maybe in this location I'm comparing this camera with these 3 lenses to get test shots, and then we need to compare these 2 different cameras in a different kind of setup, and keeping track of all the different shots you're getting. And we might have 10 different setups like that we're doing through the day, and we might do all of them indoors and all of them outdoors, so we need a bunch of different outfits. It can get really hectic, but Steph is just the best, and amazingly, it looks like we got everything that we needed. Not too shabby, huh? Of course, we're not typically or always editing on the road like this, but last night we were in a crummy hotel, tonight we're in an Airbnb, today we're hiding out from the desert sun. It is pretty great to be able to have a dual monitor display and a fully calibrated workflow where we've got, you know, start to finish calibration with the Checkr, and then knowing that my displays are calibrated. It's yeah, it's nice to know that you're not sacrificing when you want to go out and do something fun and be on the road.
I can still tell my eyes are slightly red from yesterday.
But they're the correct shade of red, not an off pink.
Yeah, that's true.
That is your exact bloodshot tone.
Oh, spot on.
After spending the day in the pool yesterday. Nice, nice, nice. All right, we have a couple of hours, I hope, before the traffic is going to get cray-cray heading back into LA. So I think we can start packing up, and I can't believe the car is completely full. It was full when we left, and now that everything is like exploded, there's not even space for us to sit right now, so it's going to take a minute. But at least we know we're backed up and we're good to roll. Big thanks to Espresso Displays and Datacolor for supporting this trip, and of course huge thanks to Steph for making such a fun and productive trip possible. I can't wait for the next one.